Hi, Bill Henshaw here again, Constitutional Crisis Channel. More current events, and this one's a potentially very important one with the announcement very recently of the retirement of Justice Anthony Kennedy. And he's been a key swing vote on the court for about 10 or 15 years, maybe more than that, to the point where if you look at the statistics, I don't have the hard ones in front of me, but I read recently that he was, with all the 5 to 4 decisions, he was with the 95% of the time. That's astounding. So this is a big deal appointment, especially if Trump is able to make it. And this is where it gets really interesting because I don't know if the Democrats at this stage will have enough power in Congress to prevent him from at least getting an appointee before the Senate for a hearing. You know, hopefully somebody other than Matthew Peterson, by the way. So we'll see. And I'm not familiar with some of the justices who will be appointed, but you can be sure they'll be every bit as conservative as Gorsuch, you know, to name an obvious example. And a lot of people are fearful because they think that's going to really consolidate the conservative bloc. And that would be particularly true if we're lucky enough to get Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat too in the next year or so. That would be even better. That said, it's interesting because, you know, I think the Republicans very much want to get this appointment done now because I think there's probably a party-wide lack of confidence in the ability of Trump to get reelected in 2020. The way things are going now, the election is 2 years away, and as we know, a hell of a lot can happen in 2 years. But I think they want to get this one done as quickly as they can to at least get this one justice on the court, and at the very least keep this conservative majority. And most of them are young here. The only one that's old is Clarence Thomas, and he's only my age, 70. So he could be around for another 8 or 10 years quite easily also. So this is a big deal appointment. So if they can get it done, fine. If Democrats can delay him, you know, until the midterm election, and if they gain control, especially of the Senate, it gets really interesting whether they could actually defeat an appointee, and that has happened a long time ago. People that don't know, that was back when Trickey was in office, Nixon, and 2 of his appointees, Carswell was one of them, got defeated in the Senate, you know, on the grounds they were opposed to civil rights and this, that, and the other. And so it does happen. So we'll have to see what happens with the midterm elections if this goes on as long as that, and it may not. This is, you know, we've got several months before the midterm elections are going to come up, and I say elections, quote unquote elections. I mean, with no voters, it's really hard to have an election, don't you think? But that said, I'll be watching this closely, and as things update, you know, the next set of videos we do, I'll probably have some more to say about this issue. But it is a very interesting one, and we'll see. Well, Kennedy, by the way, is still on the court technically until July 31st. I don't know why that date was picked. But you can be sure they're working overtime in the White House to figure out who to try and get in there and who they think can get appointed either now in the Senate or later if they lose control of the Senate. So it'll be a really interesting subject matter about which more later. Thank you.